Welcome to another episode of Tech File Overtime. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all. We're recording this Wednesday night. Bucks just got done defeating the Celtics in Game 5. This episode of Overtime was supposed to be nothing but winning time, episodes 9 and 10. But after that Bucks game, we are calling an audible here. We are going to spend the first half of this show discussing Game 5 and the next half of this show discussing episodes 9 and 10 of winning time together because we kind of feel like they go together anyway. So might as well, right? Let's get into it. Tim's not here. Normally is when he would come in and introduce himself. So he's going to pass it over to Eric,
I am the Eric J.
only known as.
The Eric J.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life T for Lockhart, the girl next door. You know, holding it down for all the women who love sports.
And it's your boy K Harris, the gentleman,
The gentleman,
the everyday gentleman,
24/7.
but better known as K Diddy.
Take that, take that. All right, man. Like I said, we were like, you know what? We were joking after we got done recording our weekly show. Like, hey, man, it might be sad time if the Bucks don't pull this together after the game. And it's happy time now. So we're gonna talk about Game 5, Bucks Celtics. The Bucks won in a very thrilling fashion tonight. Had to dig deep in the fourth quarter to come out with that 110-107 victory. Ken, you mentioned that you weren't able to catch the game, had other things to do tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead. What do you want to know about what happened tonight?
Okay. So I've been checking like scores, stats, and all of that. So looking at the stat sheet, like on paper, it looks like Boston should have won.
Yeah.
And then I see what Boston was up by 14 in the fourth.
At some point, I believe.
Yeah, at some point. So like, what happened? Like,
Eric, go ahead.
Shit.
I don't even know how to explain what you just got done watching. in that
I don't know
fourth
what I just watched, to be quite honest. Like, all I know is that they were down double digits, and then they kept it close and kept it close, and then they started hitting shots, and Boston stopped running any semblance of an offense. And next thing I knew, Drew Holiday came out of nowhere, got a block and a steal, and here we are. So that's not great analysis. Like, it's been a half hour since the game has been over. No stats, just vibes.
Yeah,
I
all
see.
vibes right here. All vibes right here. The Bucks were getting eaten up alive with Grayson Allen on the court. Boston kept attacking him over and over, and honestly, they were also attacking George Hill. I can understand. I don't know if you saw Game 3. George Hill got attacked in the fourth quarter of that game as well. But I'm guessing Bud was like, "Hey, man, that was just a bad quarter. That's no slight on George. George can do this. George out here." George did not have it. He did not have it. And once they got those two out of the lineup, they ended up closing with Giannis, Bobby, Wes, Pat Connaughton, and Drew Holiday. Bobby over Brooks surprised me, but like as you were seeing it play out, it just felt like the right move to make. Pat Connaughton is somebody who I've been saying needed to play more, especially in Boston. He's from the area, and he always seems to play super well when he's in Boston. So, Pat Connaughton had a really big fourth quarter. Giannis was doing what he does, and that's really just being the steady. That's what I always say. Giannis is going to try to be the steady and just wait for somebody else to pick up the slack and help him out a little bit. And Drew Holiday hit some timely shots. Bobby Portis had a timely offensive rebound after Giannis missed a free throw that could have tied the game. Giannis missed that free throw. Bobby Portis got the rebound, tapped that right back in. Bucks up one. It's looking real. It's getting real critical And at that point, Drew Holiday gets an amazing block on Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart tried to flop, but it was all ball. And somehow Drew Holiday was able, he was still able to control the rebound. Then
threw it off of Marcus Smart.
Yep. So that the Bucks would have possession. Bucks foul Pat Connaughton. He knocks down both his free throws. Celtics foul Pat Connaughton. He knocks down both his free throws. Celtics have no timeouts remaining. And Marcus Smart has the ball. And at that point, Drew Holiday took the ball. And Marcus Smart tried to flop again. Game was over. Game was over.
Giannis put up a 40-piece.
He had to earn every single point.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, to that point, like, the way Stan Van Gundy was talking about him, you would have thought he had like 13, like 0 for 27 from 3. Like, he was killing that man. And like, I don't really care, like, you know, the announcers don't affect the game at all, so whatever. But goddamn, I think, like, what did he do to you?
I think we cracked the code. Giannis was part of the Sayonara crew sending the Pistons home. So
Sayonara.
That was the one that got him fired, right?
I believe so.
He's still bitter, boy. Every time he see Giannis, he be like, that motherfucker.
Shaking his fist at him.
Shaking his fist. He be having an Arthur fist and shit.
It's just be shaking by his side when he commentating. But man, it was a crazy game. It felt like the rope was slipping from the Bucks, to be completely, like, in the third quarter. I was sitting there stressed. Honestly, I'll be real with y'all. I was stressed about 30 minutes before the game started. I was sitting here like I should like try to take a nap. That didn't work. So I'm gonna go try to take a walk. That didn't work. I was sitting here like, okay, I'm gonna just close my eyes and just listen to the game because I can't actively watch right now. That didn't work. So I just had to be like, you know what? I need to just watch this. And the first 3 quarters were not fun as a Bucks fan.
Yeah, I washed the dishes at halftime. Like, I definitely wasn't listening to that halftime show, and it was just like, you know, I need something to kind of occupy me. So I think that was most of the third. I mean, I like sat down at 8 and watched it for the 4th. So yeah, I feel you on like just needing to kind of find something to take my mind off of things. It was frustrating, like the middle 2 quarters especially. And it was the same stuff that we talked about on the show yesterday, like the Bucks getting in their own way. And, you know, honestly, Bobby and Grayson Allen and obviously George Hill, like, being the weak links on defense. Like, Boston found things that they felt like they could exploit. Some of the post-game analysis that I saw quickly on the timeline from people that are actually, like, breaking down the game, not just people reacting with memes and gifs and shit. But they were saying that they felt like Boston mismatch hunted a little too much. Like, they got out of their regular offense, like trying to go at whoever was being guarded by George, Bobby, or Grayson, and it kind of stagnated their offense. So yeah, I'll have to go back and watch and see like what exactly happened to Boston's offense. Like I said, it just seemed like they just stopped making shots.
Yeah, I see a tweet here from Keith Smith, NBA, and he just said, rewatching the 4th quarter, the Celtics gave up at least 4 3-pointers because somebody, usually Tatum, Brown, or Grant, was barking at the referees and did not get back on defense. That's something that definitely sunk the Celtics tonight. They were, when they didn't get that whistle, they were chirping. Which allowed us to get back and make some plays out of it.
Yeah, and offensive rebounding. Like, I think the Bucks were huge on the boards throughout the game, to be quite honest. But like, especially in that 4th quarter, like, again, shout out to Bobby for like that big offensive board on the Giannis missed free throw. But like, he was doing work like the entire time. Like, there was a possession, I feel like they had like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. I feel like they didn't even end up scoring off of it, but like that was just like the level of dominance that they had on the boards. Because I mean, Boston went small. Like, I think Horford was their only big man on the court. And Bud, right? And Bud kind of, you know, he's always one with size. So I think that it was smart to avoid falling into the same trap that they had in Game 4, which was they downsized with Boston. It's like, not play big, and just see what happens.
Just play with a mobile big. Like we saw at times throughout the game where Brook Lopez would come out and the Bucks were just getting slaughtered at the rim. Like just not having Brook out there really opened up some things for Boston. But in the fourth quarter, instead of, like Eric was saying, instead of trying to match small with small, they kept Bobby out there, and keeping Bobby out there provided a little bit more size, able to get a little bit more rebounding. And I just saw another stat. That's why I like, you got to have your Twitter timeline curated right so you can see the smart folks talking about the game. Justin Garcia pointed out the fact that the Celtics did not attempt a three-pointer in the entire fourth quarter. The Bucks went 6 for 6 from 3 in the fourth quarter, and that will swing it. I've been saying for a while, the Bucks were due for some type of hot shooting from 3. I thought at some point it would be an entire game. Fingers crossed that could be in game 6 for this series, and it can continue thereafter. But being able to knock down some shots in the fourth quarter when it's winning time, no pun intended, it can't be understated. Like, that's a major key, because the Bucks had been super cool from 3 throughout the series and throughout this game. I mean, Giannis hit like clutch threes down the stretch for the Bucks. Like, it was that kind of game in the fourth.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that Christmas Day game where the Bucks just went on a run to kind of close the game out. It's cliche, but seriously, heart of a champion. Like, that team didn't give up. Like, I saw Camille, you retweeted it, and I retweeted it too. I forgot the dude on Bucks Twitter whose name it was, but basically just said, like, they may play dumb, but this team fights. And they really do. Like, they keep it close, and that, being able to defend and just like have heart, like, always keeps you in the game.
I'll say this, Ken, this is the question for you, because you weren't able to watch the game, but like, I'm just looking at the box score. Right?
Damn, Memphis just took off on Golden State. Sorry.
Yeah, they did. You see Tatum has 34. Yeah. Jaylen Brown had 26. They were able to get contributions from Marcus Smart and Daniel Theis.
Nice.
Like, Theis, when you look at those numbers, like, are you shocked to see that the Bucks won? Like, I mean, like, yeah, Giannis dropped 40, but just looking at the numbers alone.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm shocked, because it looks like, just by looking at Boston numbers alone, it's like, oh, they won this game. Like, it's like damn near no way that they should have lost this game. Like, just looking at like the stat sheet alone, especially with Tatum having, Tatum and Brown having really big games, and then Marcus Smart too. So it's just like their big three basically had good games. So you would definitely expect like they would win this game, especially with y'all being short without mid and everything. I see Matthews stepped up tonight a little bit.
Yeah, he hit some threes.
A little bit. He almost hit 4 threes. I almost laughed. Like, when he hit the third one, I was like, "Oh shoot, is he gonna finally hit 4 threes?"
Hey,
Tim gonna be pissed.
He make me bitter every time I see him. I was like, man, I wanna choke him, bro.
Man, I saw somebody from Lakers Twitter actually tweet about him. Not during this game. I think it was during game 3 or game 2. But they were just mentioning the fact, they were like, I'm still shocked that the Lakers did not bring West back. They're like, we know he started kind of slow, but it seemed like towards the end of the season last year, he started picking things up for the Lakers. And they were like, it's completely surprising that they did not bring him back when his skill set fits what that team would have needed. And I was like, I didn't watch West on the Lakers like that last year. Like, this season was probably the most I've watched of Lakers basketball, and I'm kind of sad that it happened to be this season when they were this bad. But West, man, at times when West plays within himself, he is good. I'm not sure if when he was playing for y'all last year, if he was trying to finish at the rim often. But that is a recipe for disaster.
All he did was shoot, honestly.
I wish that was the case here.
Yeah, all he did was shoot us. I ain't seen him come to the. I can't remember a duck or a layup, honestly.
Yeah. every time he puts the ball on the floor, it's an adventure.
Man, a big adventure. And I'd be sitting there stressed, like, my God, this is not, you ain't in Portland no more, G. Like, I love you, Wes. Marquette, I feel you. MU. But I'm going to keep a G with you. That's not in your game no more. Like, you're doing a little too much.
He don't got that. He don't got that in his bag no more.
It's not in the bag no more. You can take that one out. Like, just swing it. Just swing it. But no, I mean he came up like defensively. There were times when he wasn't in the game, and I'm like, we need West back in the game. But now I'm looking. That man almost played 40 minutes tonight.
Wow.
37 minutes for Wes Matthews, the old man.
Hey, he's putting
Like,
in that work.
I had the box score pulled up now. Like I knew that Brook didn't have a great game offensively, but 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even similar. It wasn't like game 4 where it just felt like he had mismatches and they just weren't going to him. Like I don't remember him making any type of impact offensively at all.
Yeah, most of Brook's impact, from what I was able to, was like just defensively.
Yeah.
Timely rebounds.
Yeah.
Even though he only had 3. Hey, they were a big 3. It was a big 3.
No. I get you. And that's why I like the that's why box score watching can kind of be deceiving because again, aside from Giannis popping for 40, like nothing really stands out.
That's what I was saying. I was like, just looking at it, like for sure, like, Boston would.
Yeah. Like Bobby had a double, like 14 points, 15 boards.
Yeah, had a big.
Like I said, offensive rebound is definitely. He's dominant there, but then he was like 4 for 14, and you felt that watching the game. But at the same time, like they seemed to play well when he was on the court. But
yeah, boards, didn't he, Bobby?
Yeah, he did. Led the game in boards, I assume.
Yep. No Celtic player had double-digit rebounds.
Again, dominance from the Bucks on the boards. But like I was saying, like on the flip side, Tatum, 34 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like, that's a good game. Like, I will argue that he wasn't like, I'm not gonna say he wasn't good. Okay, I'm not gonna say he was bad, but I'm not gonna say he was good either. Like he could not hit anything from 3. Yeah, 2 for 11 from 3. Like,
Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at that.
And he pulled a lot, and like they were makeable shots too. Like they had the Bucks were in a drop. West would get screened off of him. He'd have a wide open pull up 3 and just brick a bunch of them.
Yeah, it took him 30 shots to get 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum. Some might say he was settling for some of the threes that he was taking tonight instead of trying to, push a little bit more. But they a lot of them were good looks. He just wasn't able to knock them down, and I don't know, man.
So after watching this game and watching your Bucks come back, being down 14, what do you expect out of the next game from the Bucks? Do you expect them to end this?
I think I brought this up on the last episode of the show. But Giannis in potential closeout games is really fucking good. Like, I mean, Giannis in any game is really fucking good, but like Giannis brings it in closeout games. And I think the Bucks are undefeated under Bud when they've had an opportunity to close out. So based off of historical trends alone, I'm never confident in the playoffs. But as confident as I get in the playoffs is the Bucks with the opportunity to close things out. Like they are good at keeping their foot on necks. So if they do lose game 6, it won't be from a lack of effort, as we saw today. Like they were getting their ass bust, but they never gave up. So like that's all I can really ask for. I expect Giannis to really bring it. I expect Marcus Flop. I'm gonna call him Marcus Flop.
Marcus Flop.
But yes, I expect Marcus Smart to flop all over the place. That man gonna be like a wet fish.
A wet fish.
They got to do something about offensive fouls and how they're called. I'm not saying that Giannis does not foul at times, because he does. Like sometimes, like that was stupid. Like you can't extend your arm like that, bro. Like that's gonna get called every single time. But there was literally a possession where Grant Williams is holding him. Giannis is backing him down, and Grant Williams is just standing there playing like he's just playing defense. And I believe Giannis scored on him. And then like next time down, it's the exact same thing, but the next time Grant Williams just did a trust fall out of it, and it was an offensive foul. And it was like, it's legit the exact same thing, except this time he decided to flop. And now it's an offensive foul because he wants to act. Because at this point, he felt like he couldn't stop him by doing anything but falling over. Like, we need to get rid of charges for sure, but also just the way that you're officiating the game. Like flop should not be rewarded. I don't know what ref told Coach Udoka after was it game 3? Like if you're not falling, we ain't calling it. That's not how it should be. Like it should be called if it's an offensive foul. It should not matter if the guy falls or not. If it's a push off or whatever the case may be, that needs to be called. But like we got to get rid of all the flopping stuff because it's just disrespectful. And I mean, like I said, Marcus Flop. I'm calling him Marcus Flop.
Hey, it's gonna stick.
Marcus Smart Flop. He just be throwing his body around sometimes, and I'm like, dude, get up.
Defensive player of the year.
And then he'd be like grabbing at his legs and grabbing at his chest. It's like, yeah, cause you bump it like a wrestler, fam. Like
he take hella bumps. Unnecessary.
So like Giannis did run into him, but like not to the point where like he launched himself back. And it's just like, come on, man. Like have some pride. Like have some respect for the game. Like
have some dignity.
You know, like, and this coming from somebody that roots for a team that employed Ersan Ilyasova like 3 or 4 different times. Like
Flop King,
at least Ersan would be in the spot and then just like let you run him over. Like these dudes like really embellish, and it's just
I take that back. Ersan was not a flop king. Ersan was a charge king.
Yeah.
And yet and still we need to get those out the game. They're just we don't need that. Just play some defense. We got about 5 minutes before we got to go into break and then switch over to winning time. And Ken asked about Game 6. Just as none of us know the answer to this for real because we're not doctors and we don't work for the Bucks. We have no inside intel, despite what some people may think.
You might.
Yeah, man, I be getting tweets from people sometimes. They be like, "What's the latest?" I'm like, "I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I don't have none of the tea, man. I can't tell you nothing that's going on. I guarantee you." But do y'all think Chris Middleton plays in Game 6?
No.
My brother just asked me the same question. I think if he is close to coming back, like I think it'll be similar to what up, Tim Kins? I think it'll be similar to like Giannis last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, where it came out after the fact. Like if there had been a Game 7, he would have played. But so like I think that they would hold him out. Like if he's close, they'll probably hold him out. Like, hey, maybe we can steal Game 6 and then give you some extra rest and have you ready for the next series. So I don't think there's any way they play him Game 6, unless I don't think there's any way to play him Game 6. It's possible that he comes back for Game 7.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's just an educated guess, obviously.
I've been looking at Chris. It's been funny watching Chris on the sideline. First, I just want to say I appreciate Chris's drip. It's very understated, but he just dresses really nice to me, like basketball swag. But he's been looking like somebody whose grandma told him you cannot go outside and play until you finish these chores, and he's just sitting there like, but I really want to go outside. Like Chris Middleton ain't somebody who's like really emotional. He doesn't really like. I can't think of the word.
Expressive.
He's not super expressive, but like you can see him. He's just sitting on the sideline, like staring like a little psycho kid. Like, come on, like please, like let me just get back outside and play. But before we go into break and all that good stuff, Tim, since you were able to join us, what were your just overall thoughts on the fourth quarter of this game?
This fourth quarter was kind of like how the series has been. Like I said before, I enjoy the playoffs, and my team been in playoffs. I need all the heartache. I need all the heart attack. I need the stress. I need the ups. I need the downs. I need the fuck y'all. I need the come on guys. I need the I knew y'all can do it. I need all of that. And all
give it to me.
And all of it. All of it. So it was from the beginning of it. Like even with the series, it's like I feel like now, depending on how the third quarter go with calls, depends on how the calls go in the fourth. So games, the first 4 games, it was like, okay, game 1 we blew them out, whatever, cool. Game 2, it was like we was getting plenty calls in the third quarter, but we got none in the fourth.
No, game two we got blown out.
Okay, I give you game 2, but I felt like the calls were kind of skewed. Game 2, we weren't getting as many calls as we thought we should have. The ones that we were getting in game 1, we really weren't getting game 2. Whatever, cool. Game 3, kicked in with the third quarter joint. In the fourth quarter, we were in. No, that was game 4. Yeah, game 4 it was third quarter. Fourth quarter we didn't get nothing. Game 3 it was we got stuff in the fourth quarter, but in the third quarter it's just kind of been weird. I could be getting my little timeline mixed up, but it's just been. I felt like I've been, because I think I even tweeted about it, that the calls that we get in one quarter kind of flips the last quarter. So this game, I felt like we finally were getting the calls in the fourth quarter. Not all of them, because there was some when they were showing Giannis on replay. They had like 3 replays in a row with Giannis getting buckets in the fourth quarter. I like 2 of the 3 replays, he clearly getting fouled. They on his back. They swiping the ball on his arm, his shoulder, his wrist. Like, he getting smacked. They didn't call those, but then when it came down the stretch, and some of the ones that we actually should have gotten, like the Bobby Portis one, we actually got. I didn't let it, but the fourth was great. It was stressful. It was, what are y'all doing? And then it was, okay, y'all doing it. Then it was, okay, Drew. No, Drew. Okay, Drew. It was like, and Bobby Portis like, oh, you missed the bunny. Oh, you got the board. Oh, you missed the bunny. Oh, you got. So
I'll say this.
A lot of that this fourth quarter for this game for sure, but they pulled it out, man, and I was happy for them.
I'll say this to your refereeing point. You might have gotten some of the games mixed up, but your overall point of how inconsistent officiating has been is accurate. It does literally feel like it changes from quarter to quarter, where you're like, that was a foul last quarter, but now it's not a foul. So yeah, that definitely has come into play. But as y'all can hear from this, we excited about it. I think most of y'all said Bucks in 6 as it is, and we look like we on pace for that to happen. So Friday night, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is going to be a beautiful day here too. Might have to drop down to the Dare District or something like that and see what's going on for that game.
I'll be there.
I'm really not. I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to that. But it's too many people for me. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. If you're watching on YouTube, you won't even see an interruption. It'll be 2 separate episodes for you. Listen on the TGN app. Enjoy these ads and some, words from folks who support what we do. We'll be right back. All right, y'all, and we are back. Tim has joined us. We got Tim here with us. We got Eric. We got Ken, and myself, Camille. We spent the first half of this episode discussing the Bucks' thrilling Game 5 victory in Boston. We're going to spend this half of the show doing what we originally planned to do, and that is discuss winning time. So we're going to combine episodes 9 and 10. I said this to the guys, so I'll say it to you listeners as well. But I felt like episode 10 was somewhat underwhelming after all of the build-up throughout the season. Maybe it's because knowing NBA history, the Lakers win the finals. That Kareem's going to get injured, and that Magic's going to have to play center and all that comes along with that. But overall, I feel like the episode was just kind of a letdown. Did anyone else feel that way, or am I tripping a little bit?
It just wasn't dramatic.
Lackluster?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess a little bit, but more so just that there was no dramatic tension anywhere in the episode. It seemed like they were trying, even the Spencer Haywood thing, they didn't really build it up, and even the little bit of build up that they did do, it was just kind of womp womp. He just had a conversation with Kareem and then it was over. It's I don't know if they changed direction because they got picked up for a second season. It's okay, maybe we need to just plant some more seeds for the story going forward, because it seems like that's what it was with Kareem and Magic accepting the Finals MVP trophy, even though they said they were going to give it to Kareem. That seems like a setup for, okay, there's going to be some tension, whose team is it, who's the man, blah blah blah. And him sitting in Kareem's chair, that seems like a seed drop. But overall, like I said, the dramatic tension of the story just wasn't really there for episode 10. Episode 9 was pretty shit happened.
Episode 9 was, my heart was just sitting here
right. But yeah, 10 was just kind of there.
Yeah, 10 was very mid. Yeah, very mid.
Maybe to be fair to episode 10.
No, fuck that.
We knew that the whole building up to the championship game, in essence. For those who knew the history of it. For those who didn't know, this was still building up to the championship game of the season. So it makes sense that episode 10 would be like, all right, we've been building up to this point. We've gotten this whole season. We got all the dramatics out the way. We got all of the story out the way. The last thing that we need to go ahead and wrap up is this championship one. So I can, in that instance, it may have been lackluster, but it also made sense because, like, okay, we'll just dedicate this whole episode to now finally getting them to this championship game and just let y'all see it, play it out, see the drama that happened in the game, things like that, Magic playing the positions and shit like that. So I'm trying to throw him a little Benny aspect of it.
Like, I feel you, but it's stuff that they set up the entire series that they just kind of like, oh, and then that happened. And, you know, like the whole thing has been like Jerry Buss doesn't have any money and he might lose the team, and then it's just a line from Claire like, oh yeah, we made the final, so everything's good. It's like you didn't even have any drama, like you know, like if you're not gonna be like super faithful to like what happened in real life, like you can kind of fudge like, oh, you know, something came up last minute, the big ass expense, so now we need to go to game 6 to, you know, win the time. Like you could create something to make it be like, oh, okay, like this little bit of juice like got us over the hump. But
that's a good point. They have been making stuff up all the way through, so you might as well just add a little bit more razzle dazzle on that to, you know, to clean it up. I feel like one loose end that came from episode 10 that's going to go into season 2 just revolves around Jeannie Buss and how she wants to be seen, because like episode 9, when her grandma was still was sick and Dr. Buss asked her to just be the one to take care of grandma. And Claire's at the crib like, hey, yo, Dr. Buss, it's a job that's opening and Jeannie would be perfect for it. And Dr. Buss is like, nope, not happening. She needs to be with my mom and family business and this and this and this and that. Then grandma passes, which we are definitely going to talk about. And then episode 10, she's doing her, you know, her role that she feels like she's helping out with all her grandma's stuff. Her grandma had gave her some advice before she passed away, like, yo, I've let men just dictate how I live. Like, don't do that. Like, you can do something better than that. And Jeannie sees it and she's like, I want to be like Claire. I want to be able to have a position here. And in episode 10, what you see is Dr. Buss trying to have her take her brothers around to see which one of them can get the job.
Which is wild, bro. Like, nah, you can't get it, but show your brothers around.
Like, you've been here.
I feel like they haven't even like they kind of made it seem like Jeannie was his only kid, like this whole season. Then it's just like, oh no, I got 2 sons actually. That
where have they been? You ain't made mention, no, never mind, no brothers, no sons, no knuckleheads, no boys, none of that. It's been Jeannie and his
mom.
Knuckleheads.
You know, dads be calling the cats all kind of names.
They do.
Boy, the knucklehead, the all kind of crazy crap.
Yeah, I felt like one of the real first mentions you got was in episode 10 where he's like, it was so nice at the funeral to have the whole family together. And I was like, what whole family? Like,
exactly.
It's 2 of y'all. What you talking about?
Where they been at helping?
They make it seem like you only love Jeannie. Hey.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
I guess everybody got a favorite.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, when he was finger popping that little girl at the table, and Jeannie came back over, like I think when they walked into the restaurant.
Oh yeah, it was other kids with her. Yes, when he was finger popping that girl at the table.
Finger pop.
Yeah, Dr. Buss was
playing with a figure spinner.
Let's talk about the passing of grandma, of Jessie Buss. How did y'all feel about her passing? Them breaking into the old place, drinking, having a good time, and what's so funny to you?
I don't know, man. Her death was just kind of like they drinking each other. Next thing you know, you look over, Mom.
You are a wild boy.
Oh my shit. Lord Jesus. Hey, she went. Hey, at least she went doing something she loved, drinking.
Ain't worth it takes to cut your ass. I swear.
Man.
Well, hey, my guy had the Denzel tear though. He didn't even cry for real. Just the one drop came down the joint.
I can imagine you watching that at the crib, rolling, just
bro,
over there, dying, like the hardiest of hars, bro.
That's what happened. It did. I was like, y'all could have better died with some dignity. Jesus Christ.
I actually not. I was gonna say
It
I actually
fit
liked
for
how
her
they had
character.
die. Yeah, I thought it fit. I thought it fit with them going back to doing something that her and Jerry used to do when he was young and they didn't have no money and just being able to give the last few words that she wanted to give to them, because I could tell like throughout the night that she knew her time was short. And some of the things that she said, like telling Dr. Bust to smile and talking to Jeannie about how she's been treated by men and how she would prefer for Jeannie to go about things. I thought it was pretty touching, but I also cry at everything. So I didn't cry at that scene when she passed away, but it did hit the heartstrings. But now Ken done ruined it, because now when I watch it again, I'm gonna end up laughing. So I'm gonna hear you in my head.
Hey man,
it is your fault. It's all your fault.
Hey, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh so you don't cry. Goddamn.
I don't think a tear was gonna be shed outside of them laughing ones, bro. Like you out here wilding.
Hey man, I ain't the only one.
Looked over, seen his mom pass.
You probably are the only one.
I'm not the only one, bro. That was a good joke. I'm not the only one. I had to get the jokes off. I'm sorry.
I find out if you were the only one. I guarantee you that it's gonna be some comment. But the other thing that was going on throughout these 2 episodes was who was going to be coaching this team. Because again, McKinney was like, "Hey y'all, the coach, the doctor's done cleared me. Dr. Bus, who you gonna pick? I can do this." That brother was lying to himself all the way through.
He was trying to coach himself through it.
So
go ahead, Sam.
In his shoes, who would y'all have picked?
The dude that didn't have significant brain damage.
Yeah, exactly. I would have never chosen after that injury. Like, no, I'm sorry.
When he came to his crib, because Dr. Bus was going to pick him.
Bro, he didn't even know who he was. Like,
and he said, "I need it's a delivery guy here. Darling, come and handle this." And she walked up like, "Oh, hi, Dr. Bus."
Dr. Bus did the office. He did the office move. Looked at the camera like, what the fuck?
Like, oh,
what the fuck? I'm not FedEx. Why they gonna give me?
Got you. Don't even trip, bro. He gave him the Al Horford bet.
Hey, right.
Bet.
Okay. You got it. You know what? Here, have the champagne.
Hey,
y'all gonna need it.
I got something going on. We'll call you in the morning. Don't worry.
That man said. That man said someone calling my phone.
He peeled off. Let me get up out of here, man. Then he had cell phone.
They even have cell phones. He said, my phone ringing. I gotta go.
My two-way going off.
Shit, was pages a thing back then at that time too? Like shit.
I think someone just beat me. I gotta get out of here.
The 90s.
It wasn't a thing.
Like how did
he was trying to use every excuse to get out of there.
He was trying to get up out of there.
Which is wild to say that your phone was ringing, knowing damn well that you couldn't have a phone that was gonna be ringing, and they let him slide on that. They let him slide. Oh, go ahead, answer that.
I would make up all kinds of excuses. He got out there smooth. He said, "Hey, I actually got something else to do. I'm gonna go."
I mean, the only thing, like, it's sad to see like how like everything changed. Like his life literally changed after the accident. But then to see how passionate he was before all of that happened, and the what ifs now. It's like, dang, like could he have done it, or what if what if he was still around and none of this ever happened? Like I understand all that, but everything happens for a reason too.
Man, he shit on Paul.
And that's what I'm saying. And he was snaking this guy the whole time. Like God don't like ugly. I ain't trying to say it was the reason why, but still, bro.
And let's put some context on this by saying we're discussing the show and the plot lines that came from the show, because in real life it didn't. It didn't go that way.
Like Jerry West has been very vocal in his disagreement over his portrayal, but
to the Supreme Court.
But like I think Jack McKinney is like one of the bigger winners from this show because like it just brought his story to like so many more people. Like again, like I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm probably one of the more knowledgeable people when it comes to NBA history that you gonna meet, and I had no idea about the Jack McKinney story. Like I knew Paul Westhead was the champion, like coach of the championship team in '80, and I know what's gonna happen to him in the next season or two. But I had no idea that Showtime was Jack McKinney's idea. Like he was definitely like a forgotten legend, essentially, that really set the foundation. So shout out to Winning Time for kind of bringing that to the forefront.
And I will say they did wrap up that storyline between McKinney and Westhead pretty nicely in this show. I did like seeing McKinney coming to the crib in episode 10, like, hey, here's what I would do. I'm just gonna hand you this real quick. If you want it, you got it. But if not, you know, that's your decision. Go ahead, get him, coach. And he's like, I'll see you out there next season. And he's like, where are you going to go? He's like, I'm going to leave too. And he was like, hey, man, stay where you at because I'm not trying to have you take up any more jobs that I could possibly get. I'm going to see you on the sideline next year. And in real life, McKinney did get another opportunity to coach. I believe Indiana. He coached was it Indiana? Mm-hmm. I knew it was a Midwest team. He didn't last too long there, but he did get a chance to coach. It just that the injuries were just a little bit too much for him to overcome. And speaking of character arcs, Jerry West. Understanding that he does not like how he was portrayed in this show, but the story of his character throughout the season. One, I think the character of Jerry West in the show was probably one of my like bright spots. Like he was constantly entertaining whenever he was on the screen. And just to see him kind of start to find his way after basketball and finding like, okay, maybe this front office stuff is something that I can actually do pretty well. And it was kind of cool to see that. Right. Because dude, superstar in the front office. So it was really cool seeing his story arc as well. And yeah, are there any other characters just that were introduced in this season that you were like, oh, I really like this character, or you felt that it did them justice, or you learned more about them in any way?
I enjoyed Pat Riley.
The actor playing him is excellent.
Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Like great actor.
Yeah. But like I enjoy like the characterization of him. And you can see why I feel like they're leaning really hard into Paul Westhead was just there. And really it was McKinney's system and then Pat Riley pushing all the right buttons to get it, like again, setting up where we're foreshadowing. Let's put it that way. But I do enjoy Pat Riley, and you can see like how he's gonna kind of grow into who we know Pat Riley to be. But yeah, when
he go bust out the slick back.
It's coming. You saw him in the episode where he had Westhead in the shower talking about some. Say you're a coach.
I'm waiting for the slick back. He just go dip the comb in water. Hit him with the.
That's all he missing with them suits. The hair just ain't quite right yet.
Yeah,
it ain't quite right. Another relationship I really enjoyed. I thought I would see more Dr. Buss and Magic as it went on, based on how it started, because they were, and you know, like historically, like they always saw how close they were, and Magic saw Dr. Buss as like another dad figure and this and that. But after like the first 4 episodes, you didn't really see the two of them.
No,
like once basketball.
Like at the end of what, episode 10, basically. That was
when they won a championship, and neither one seemed satisfied with it. They were both kind of like, we won it, but I did like watching Magic and Kareem's relationship throughout this season. Because by episode 10, you could see like they had something there. And
mutual respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Kareem's character got a lot better too.
Kareem had to kind of open up. It's one of those things where it's like when you meet certain people and they help you be a better you in ways you didn't realize you needed to be better in. And I feel like that's how the show is showing Magic's relationship with Kareem, where it's like he kind of helped Kareem be excited about basketball again, because even when Kareem turned his ankle and he was like, I want this. I've never really wanted it like I want it now. Like I want this, and it's because of this stupid smiley kid who came along. So that was really cool to see as well.
I honestly, going back to Jerry West's character, made him more likable as the season went on as well. Because the first couple episodes is like, which is probably what a real Jerry West stopped watching. Episodes is like, fuck Jerry West. And then, but as the season went on, it was like, no, talk to Jerry, bro. Like, go holler at Jerry real quick. Jerry might, like, when he was asking him about who to coach, he was like, bro, don't do this to me. He's like, no, who you want? Like, you tell me. Well, shit, let me sleep on it. Like, he just hit them with the sleep on it. Now you want to sleep on it?
He got up out of there. He got out that jail.
Like, let me go ahead and get some Z's on it, bro. I'll tell you tomorrow. I was like, damn. Hold them now. You ain't gonna hit me with that shit. But I was like, that's fair. But in that moment, I was like, you know what? I kind of fuck with Jerry more than I did earlier in the season. So, like, his character arc really made him a lot more likable. Hopefully, the real Jerry West will watch the rest, and maybe he'll like him too.
No, he ain't going. He is not going.
I don't cuss that fucking much.
He's going.
Right.
Somebody's bullshit. You look.
So what did y'all think of the Spencer Haywood saga?
Man, bro started spazzing, like,
because there is some, like, he did put out a hit. I think it was just on Westhead.
It was just on Westhead. That's real. Like, he really
but that
did
really
start to have.
Yeah. Like,
And if you, I was gonna say, if you ask Haywood about it, he goes, it wasn't like a hit. It was more like maybe a wheel falls off his car, or like he
still gonna die, but it wasn't like
I wasn't getting
to kill him. Like, it was like set him up to die.
Yes,
but he still had to go. Like, what?
Like, that was real. He didn't want to kill the whole team, like he said. I thought that Wood Harris, I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He made me laugh a couple times when he was all cracked out. He's in the house, like, my agent about to call me. The hit is off until, you know, they gonna want me back. And then
the hit is off.
Then they didn't. The agent's like, nah, bro. And then he's like, the hit is back on.
Wait, did he consult some crackheads?
Yeah, I mean, like, the crackheads are gonna be the hitmen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
mean, you a crackhead, who you gonna go to
but I ain't gonna trust. I don't trust myself, so I'm gonna trust him. Like,
you really can't trust.
I mean, all you go associate with is crackheads. Like, you know, a reputable hitman at that point? Probably not.
A reputable.
For you, bro. I need you gonna take the coach out.
Hey, let me Google hitman.
Man, you start Googling hitman, you're gonna have a at your door.
The hits on you, motherfucker.
Dude, you better be talking about the video game.
Right.
I what?
I know I'm talking about the bald head white man that be the fictional one.
I wasn't talking about real life. But overall, how did y'all feel about the season of Winning Time? Like, I have seen some people who were like, it's just too unrealistic, can't get into it, the show could have been so much better had they not, you know, tried to be so hokey or over exaggerate or etc. While there's been others saying like, yo, this show's been absolutely amazing, I've enjoyed every moment of this. So, like, where do y'all each individually fall on how you feel about the series as a whole?
I definitely don't agree with the former, that, you know, if it was more true to life, that would have been more exciting. Because look at episode 10, like that was probably the most truthful episode, and that was, like we said, kind of lackluster, kind of uneventful. So, like, real life is never as exciting as drama, as a dramatization. So while I think that they shouldn't mischaracterize people, like, I think that hopefully they learn that lesson going into season 2. Like, these are real people that are mythologized already, and most of them are still living. So you have to be delicate with how you portray people so that you aren't too far afield. But as far as like things that really happen, like, you can kind of play with the timeline a little bit. You can kind of, you know, put somebody in a room that they weren't necessarily in at the time, because like they give a certain voice that's representative of, you know, like what was going on at the time. Like, that type of stuff is fine. So I think that they just need to kind of pull back a little bit on just blatant, like, that shit ain't happen. But I think it's fine that it's drama. As for my opinion of the show overall, like, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's basketball, it's a 70s period piece, it's drama, it's comedy. Like, it's basically a show that was created for me, like, in my taste in entertainment. So I'm probably biased to begin with, but I feel like they pulled off what they seem to have set out to do. So I'm excited to see season 2, and I hope it goes on for a while.
Go ahead, Tim.
I enjoyed it as well. Like, I'm more so with the latter of the man. I thought it was dope. It was one of the best shows on TV at the time. Things like that on a weekly basis for like weekly episodic episodes. You know, being able to. I say the only thing that I regret is not live tweeting watching it. Maybe that. Not even regret. Just maybe next season if it, you know, maybe I'll live tweet while watching it just to kind of get some opinions and shit like that, because people slowly are starting to catch on, and as I see people catch on to the show still, they're more so with the latter group. Like, man, it's pretty damn good. Like, I'm enjoying this. Like, and I also am a firm believer in every good joke has some truth in it. So rather dramatization or not, it was still some truth in that motherfucker. No matter how mad you want to get, like it was still some truth that if you want real, go ahead and watch the Magic documentary, and I'm pretty sure it won't be too far off of what you've seen from the show though.
Oh, I have comments about that. But Ken, how did you feel about about Winning Time?
I enjoyed it. Of course, being a Laker fan, who I was excited about. Seeing it period and then just knowing like Showtime Lakers, like as a Laker fan, like that was that squad. And so yeah, it's been, you know, like off the chain, like, you know, outrageous or whatever like that. Yeah. But it's a TV show. What you expect though? Like they can't go, it's not a documentary, you know? So they have to fabricate a little stuff or a scripture, truth, or whatever you want to say. But I actually enjoyed it. It was actually really good. And the acting was a lot better than I expected too. And I like how they went and got like older, like Will Harris. They got what's his brother name? He was in it for a little bit. Yeah, Steve Harris was in it. So they got, you know, people that can actually act, not just got, you know, a whole bunch of like young, you know, up and coming actors or anything like that. So you saw some familiar, you saw some familiar faces and stuff like that. So it helped. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And Dr. Buss, what's his name? The actor.
Riley.
Riley
did a great job.
Still shocked that he played that role, but I agree with what y'all were saying. Like I enjoyed it. I actually did watch the Magic Apple Plus documentary, and it's a lot of things I already knew from Winning Time, to be completely honest with you, except it feels, because the drama level is kind of cut down, it felt like propaganda to a certain degree, where you're just kind of like, man, this is really a cleanup from everything we've been hearing on Winning Time. But it did expose Magic for being a bigger slime ball to Cookie in the documentary than it did in Winning Time, which surprised me because he was already kind of slummy.
Shit in Winning Time.
When you hear him actually talk about how long he was dragging her on and back and forth, like he proposed to her like 2 or 3 times and backed out each time. Like it was 10 years of on and off, and it was all because of Magic whenever it was off, because she was always all in, but then he like nope. It's wild.
Too many titties out here.
It's pretty much for Magic.
Did he have like 3 of them in the bed in like one of the last episodes?
Yeah, he did.
That's that one episode he had old girl on the bed. He had to finish his plate. Wait, damn, he's eating a lot this season. Nah, think about it,
boy.
But man had to-go plates.
Man, he had all the plates.
Yeah, doggy bags, everything, B.
But I mean, hey, y'all, that's what we're going to give y'all for Winning Time. We hope that y'all enjoyed this week's episode of Tech Foul Overtime, covering the Bucks' thrilling Game 5 victory, and then just wrapping up Winning Time for the year since this season is now over. We're going to get ready to sign off here. So if you want to follow me on social media, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, and these PSN streets at Camille Monet. Y'all can just see it right here. Watch the video. Y'all can see how to spell it there.
At your Milwaukee Bucks in 6 burner on Twitter. Also, my apologies to Drew Holiday. I take back everything that I was saying.
Hey, that's all y'all get?
Yep.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. I'm K Harris 216 on Twitter and Snapchat.
And it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. I think Chris will be back next game. Bucks in 6.
Peace out, y'all.